do very much matter. And of course, this very much points to why from the early stages, the Secretary General and everyone else has spoken about getting journalists on the ground. That would enable us to do our work in an easier manner and not be consistently counting trucks. But since we do, as everybody knows, it was 500 trucks, commercial and humanitarian, before 7th of October. In March, it was around an average of 120. There is talk, of course, Errors Crossing now is finally opened in the north, and that was on the back of lobbying from the United Nations. Again, let's be very clear, that opens in the north. The much promised threatened defence in Rafah would shut the number one crossing in the south, and that would be catastrophic, both for those people sheltering in Rafah and, of course, for those people so dependent upon aid coming through Rafah. Imminent famine is another fact. The IPC's numbers are very, very clear. That's the most respected body on the planet. And then in all the debate, and you're right to ask the question around what is happening and what isn't happening, we must not get distracted from the fact that nearly 14,000 children have been reportedly killed. And as Tess has been mentioning, a similar number injured, probably an undercount. So in terms of disproportionality, the facts are very, very clear.
We will hear from Ms. Maya Plants, the Executive Director of UN Bridge, which reports on the latest policy initiatives and debates at the heart of the global digital economy.
It is my great pleasure to be here once again. Public interest news media organizations are struggling to survive, as you probably know. According to Maria Ressa, the Nobel laureate and co-founder and CEO of a news organization in the Philippines, Rappler, only 0.3% of development funds go to public interest news media organizations and independent news groups in the Global South. Public interest news media organizations are closing at an alarming rate, and not only under authoritarian regimes in the Global South, also in the so-called developed world, where public interest news media have been gutted of advertising revenue by social media platforms. Now we see that generative AI is on the path to cause similar harms to the industry. The slow uptake of policies guiding the development of these technologies, or rather the development of business models of generative AI, training of large language models that assumed that scraping the open web, according to US copyright laws of fair use, would apply to paywalled articles or copyrighted news stories in open news sites. This has met with a backlash by those that have not agreed with their interpretation of the law. While some were quick to make licensing agreements with AP, Le Monde, and other reputable news organizations, there are many other small publishers, and not so small, that are being told that there will be no agreement, such as the New York Times and other news organizations, where negotiations for a licensing agreement to use their content fell apart, and now they are sued. The culprit using their content for training their large language models without approval, and now not willing to pay an adequate amount so the publications can continue to produce high-quality, researched, and fact-checked news. Like all news organizations that have ethical standards and a duty to inform the public, to support values compatible with open, democratic societies. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Plants.
everyone, I'm Salar Shana, President of the World XR and running BD with SensoryX. Very happy to be back at WSIS. Every year we try to come back with innovations for this amazing community here. And this year with the WSIS team we made a virtual guestbook. So no traditional guestbook used to write on paper, so we made a spatial one with one of the latest technology from Switzerland, from SensoryX, the Malyang Magic Pencil. And you're able to really seamlessly use this natural tool that you've been using since your childhood, but in a spatial world.
I don't know what the impact of AI will be on the news business. I know that it will create new ways of presenting news, sharing news with our readers, new way of discovering news. And I also know that it will transform some of the things that we depend on. We're already seeing, for example, that it is transforming the way people search the web, which is the way people get to the news industry. So my job is to try to make serious, responsible, ethical journalism as resilient to the wave of AI that is coming. I want us to benefit from us and be able to have a sustainable business model as it comes. So, as they say, may you live in interesting times.
My name is Robert Off. I'm the Chief Digital Officer from the United Nations Development Program. We're really proud to be a co-organizer of the WSIS Forum. We work with a lot of other UN agencies and of course under the leadership of member states on this WSIS Forum. This is a very special one for us because it's WSIS Plus 20, where we're going to be looking and talking about how we're going to change the WSIS Forum over time and really adapt to what's happening around us right now. We have a lot of things going on in 2024, like the Global Digital Compact and other things that really mean that we need to look at the role of WSIS worldwide, how we're going to drive collective action toward really achieving what we want as a global community to achieve when it comes to our digital transformation.
Je m'appelle Michael Cochet, je suis le responsable de la communication et de la promotion culturelle au CAGI, Centre d'accueil de la Genève internationale. Et nous avons également un Delegates Information Desk qui est présent aujourd'hui au CICG pour ce magnifique événement. Donc nous sommes là justement pour aider les délégués qui sont en visite et qui participent à cet événement. On va les orienter un petit peu pour tout ce qui est Genève.
Last September, so obviously we are a very newcomer, but
have related UN General Assembly resolutions of oceans and the law of the sea as well, adopted in 2023, that among other topics mention responsibility of the states to protect the submarine cables. So we have a, let's say, I would say, emphasis on importance to protect submarine cables both at the treaty level